crisscross applesauce.
Bro, eat crisscross applesauce in her mirror so she can see everything. I got a belly hanging right here. I got a little Yes, dude. Sitting like this.
So she's like, love it. She's like, oh my God.
No. Oh, no. At this point, she's stopped loving it.
Shout out to the people over at Stacker 2 who have been one of the biggest supporters of KFC Radio and Barstool Radio and basically all things that I've been doing for the last however many months. I'm hoping they're a big part of 2024 as well, because anybody who has lasted as long as they have in their industry is the same thing that we've done here at Barstool, where we have just done it and done it the best, and there's a reason why we've lasted for 20 plus years, and they are certainly one of the top in the game. They've got the Energy Chew Extreme Energizer Chew Gummies. They've got the Energy Shots, the Nuclear Nectar that will help you get through your day. Whether you're looking for some extra vitamin B12, you can get 10,000% of your daily value, or you're looking for a little caffeine and a little kick. The Stacker 2 Chew Gummies and Energy Shots are designed to give you maximum energy while still tasting amazing. They got all sorts of different flavors, not a lot of calories, if any at all, and they deliver you all the energy and supplements that you need. Right now, if you want to come see behind the scenes, hang out with me, Feits, Nick, Jackie, Pav, see what goes on at KFC Radio, you can win a chance to come to Barstool, New York and do a behind the scenes tour when you go to stacker2.com/Barstool. Purchase the gummies or the shots or all of it. Take a screenshot, proof of purchase of your receipt, and then tweet out the photo and use hashtag #BiteBack for a chance to win. And you could come kick it with us and see how a look behind the curtain for KFC Radio. It's stacker2.com/Barstool. Make a purchase, tweet out the screenshot, and use hashtag #BiteBack to win. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network, coming to you live from Barstool, coming to you pre-recorded from Barstool, Chicago. We are in Chicago for the Barstool Survivor finale and reunion show. So it's the final. We're at the final steps for. Well, no, as you're listening to this,
it's over.
It's over. And
I don't know what state we're in now that as you're listening. Some crazy things could have happened last night.
Yes. There's a strong chance at the reunion show, like fucking bullets started flying, or maybe it was low key. That we don't know, but and I'm sure if a lot of the diehard fans probably did watch Survivor and probably saw the reunion and the finale, and we know what happened. But I figured for the KFC Radio fans who were watching, all of us, but for the diehard KFC Radio fans who are watching us specifically, I figured we could talk about it from our point of view for a minute. Lord knows we've talked about this, everything ad nauseum, but from our point of view, dude, I cannot tell you how bad I wanted it and how much I thought we had it.
I was extremely confident.
I was so proud and so pumped. I was like, we fucking did it. And like, I never ever thought we were never had my hopes up. Like, I thought, we've said this before, I just was gonna come in, I didn't want to burn any bridges. I thought I was gonna lose the physical challenges. I didn't think we had a shot. And then as we got closer, and every single time I kept being like, wait a minute, I have a 3-man. Better? Too close?
I don't think so. Maybe, that was like hurt my neck.
I think we should go here and here.
Yeah.
But we'll use these same mics, right? Yeah. That would piss off. These guys just spent like 20 minutes. As soon as we had like the draft, I was like, this is good. And then like as the votes kept going our way, I was like, holy fucking shit.
Well, that's like, I think Survivor might be an incredibly easy where like
the two guys who lost, but
like I think if you want to get deep, like it almost applies to life, where if it's just like find people you trust and don't break their trust and stick with them, because like and obviously we had some luck with how the tribes fell and stuff like that, but we had an alliance and we had numbers from the beginning to the moment that game started, until the last episode.
And even when we lost, we had the numbers. It's just he flipped.
Violated the alliance.
Yeah.
If you just stick with people you trust, like that's why I know you and Che were doing a lot more, but like a lot more like talking and gameplay and things like that. But from the first night, we had to eliminate somebody with when we had 7 people on our tribe. From then on,
we had numbers.
Yep. So like there, well, I know again. I know you guys were doing things.
Me and Che would probably talk through scenarios, but there was almost, how many times would I just walk in and be like, the play is this person, and you'd be like, okay, the play is this person,
right?
And it was always that.
Yeah.
Like it was. I never ran back in and be like, never mind, it changed.
Yeah.
It was always the first thing. Me and Che might have talked in circles about like, well, what about this, what about that, but we always would have, like, even when it got down to, it was the balloons, me, you, Will, Che, Kirk, and it was like whichever of those 2 guys loses, one gets immunity, the other one gets voted out.
Right.
And like it was that simple. Like every time I was like, I had so much fun because I was never nervous. Yeah. And then your name gets mentioned a couple times, but even during the PFT thing, for me, the back and forth, the tie, even when there was a tie, when I grabbed Will and I was like, I've got it, like, ride with me, and he did.
Yeah.
I thought he was ready to ride. I was like, if you rode with me in that moment, you're going to ride with me to the end.
But like if Che had never violated the
first alliance,
I think
we would.
Me, you, and Will had become a thing, and I would have had a hard time deciding.
I asked you that. I texted you after the fact. I said, if I had turned to you and said, we're voting out Will, what would you have done?
What did I say? I
think you said you would have pushed back, but if I really wanted it, you would have been like, okay.
Probably right.
Yeah. Because I almost wonder if that is what fucked us a little bit, because I remember one time, maybe it was Che, somebody being like, do we have Will or Tommy? And you were like, I can turn comp, like, we're good, like, we got it, you know? And I was like, oh yeah, like booze ponies, like, these guys are good. Maybe we'll find out, by the time we're listening, maybe we'll know the answer already. But I thought we were as solid with Will as we could have been with Che, but to me it was like, I don't know, we would have picked one of those guys and we would have been good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted it, so I was crushed, dude.
Really?
Crushed. I went back into our studio. I couldn't stomach the. I don't even know what I still haven't at this point. Still have not seen the final challenges. I don't know what they look like. I don't really know what happened. I didn't see the building one. I missed one or two.
The building one's going to be bad for me. The building one's going to be bad.
Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah. The building one.
It was just like build a tower high enough, and you just couldn't do it.
It was, so here was my thinking going into this challenge. No. They were like 20 bricks, 40 bricks, however many bricks. They're obviously not real bricks, but they're brick designed.
Are they size of a brick?
About, maybe a little bigger.
Okay.
But
like building blocks are the size of a brick. Yeah.
And there was a thing like 10 feet high, and it was just get your bricks taller than that, has to stand for 5 seconds. And my line of thinking was because I was giving Jerry.
I can't imagine how bad you were at this. I'm envisioning you building something to like your knees.
Bro. No. Did you lay him horizontal?
Yo, it is. So like I think I was like like as a man,
motherfucker built the Pentagon. It's got hundreds and thousands of square miles, but it's only like 5 stories.
As a man who like a man who doesn't know how to do things, when a guy who like kind of knows how to do something is in the room, I'm like, he's gonna do some genius shit. We're like, I don't know, Jerry was in a union. So I'm like, he must know how to build skyscrapers. Right? And so my thinking was,
what union was he in?
Jerry?
Yeah.
Steam fitter?
Electrical, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he has any idea.
No, I'm sure not.
He knows how to like run wires and shit. He doesn't know how to fucking build anything.
So I was like, I'm not gonna lose not trying the easy way. Like I'm not gonna lose. Like maybe it's just stack the bricks and they go up.
Yeah.
And
but wait, you didn't.
What's that?
So wait, you were like, I'm just gonna build it up.
So I was going 2 by 2.
Got it.
And I was like, I think I might have done 3 on the bottom, and then I started going 2, just 2.
Well, that's not the worst. I think I probably would have tried to go quickly, and then if
Yeah, but and I honestly didn't end up being wrong. It's just I think Will just did 1-1-1-1-1, and it went up faster. But I think I get to about out of bricks, and like it's like waist high.
But wait, how if you're just doubling up cut you that much lower? You must have built some sort of like foundation.
There was a foundation, and then you know what I think I was doing? I think I was going 2. I think I was going 4. And then 2 on top, and then 4, and then 2 on top, and then 4, and then 2 on top. And like at one point, Jeff's like, Feits is running out of bricks. I think it's about at his knee. And like I was like, I'm not gonna lose the easy way. And wait,
this was you, Will, and
Jerry and Jay.
So Will could have not made the final if he didn't.
Yeah, if I say I won, then yeah. See, like, I wouldn't have taken
I didn't
Will.
even realize, like, I thought after I was gone that Will was like already in basically because he had immunity, but they threw in that last challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it still was very much up for grabs. I didn't even realize that. So
I think I would guess if anyone but Will won, Will doesn't make the final 3.
Right. Yeah.
Because the winner
they would vote out him because he has like the strongest.
No, because you didn't vote.
Oh.
You didn't know this?
Yeah, I couldn't stomach the game, dude. I didn't know.
So this is like I never got voted out.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah, because I remember you being like that was the
we did the beanbags again.
Right.
And
I did see the beanbags. Yes.
Jerry beat me 3-2. So like I also think like if I threw one beanbag one faster, I think Will probably would have won still. But I think I'd give him a run for his money. Playing beanbags. No, if me and him were in the final 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think he probably still would have won, but I think it would.
That was my pitch to him, man. I said this a bunch, but I feel like I can really be very honest about it here on KFC Radio. It was fucking infuriating how it played out. Dan going out first and then making everything about his avenging him and Chicago turned the whole game into this like Chicago versus thing, and then Dave became a part of that because he was like trying to counterbalance that, but then that kind of fucked things up, and there was a chance to just eliminate all of that. You said it the other day on radio where you were like, we all hated what was going on with the jury, and it was the only thing left keeping it that way was Jerry.
Right.
So why didn't we vote him out? And there just wasn't enough people who cared about it. Me and you cared about it. I think if Will Compton had been a lifelong Barstool person or a decade-long guy, I mean like way yes, yeah.
Like, I mean like why when Kirk was still around and like why because it was again
that
it's not portrayed
start to build though.
No, I mean Kirk was doing some complaining about it. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe he was doing it and he'd already been voted off. But like I talked to Kirk about it.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this is kind of crazy. I was like, yeah, this is kind of wild. But like I said on radio too,
I think there was a lot of thought of like Jerry's not going to win challenges for some reason.
I would. That's not something I would think. I would think
Jerry's like all the challenges were pretty balanced. Like anybody could have won. They did. Like beanbags and throwing and all that sort of shit. I don't know why. Maybe that was the fatal flaw the other way. Like we could have done differently. But when I lost or when we were done and I went back to work and was telling all of like our friends and like our New York people and like our people at Barstool the circumstances, people who have been here for a long time, people who just get it, they were like, oh, Will, like and it was a smart move for him, and obviously it worked out for him. But I think, had he not, he's been here for a cup of coffee, and I think he understands the dynamics at Barstool. But I think if there was another lifer who has, rolled our eyes at some of the shit we've had to put up with, and when it becomes the Dan and Dave show and those things, sometimes I feel like it would have meant more to be like, let's do it with these 3 guys. I think it would have been awesome to have those 3 people, and that all that jury shit is dead, and it's. Will probably still wins. I think the speeches would have been awesome. I think it would have been like a 40, 35, 25% chance, however that works out. Like,
it would have been a more interesting final 3.
Totally.
Because I don't know.
And listen, you don't want an interesting final 3 when you want it to be what Will had.
Right.
You want it to be a fucking joke. It's over.
100%.
But for content, for the fun of it, it's not about fun and all that. So I get it. I'm not saying anything. But it would have been, I think, like we don't know until Jeff reads it.
Yeah.
I would like to think that. I think I was probably in third place. I think my speech would have been pretty convincing. I think you didn't have like a speech, but I know the angle you were going to go. It was going to be very compelling. And then Will just had like the best resume, and maybe his speech would have been different and great too. But I think like it would have been like, nobody knows. Let's find out. And just all that other shit would have been deaded. Yeah. It would have been gone because nobody had that issue with me and you and Will. Like maybe there would have been some other thing that came about the jury. Maybe this person's voting for you and not voting for you for other reasons. But the whole Jerry and Dave and Dan and all of that was just like looming over the game would have been gone.
Yeah.
And it also was still the right move. Like I wanted it in my heart because it would have been cool to have the three boys, but also it was smart because Jerry did have the built-in like 4 or 5 votes. Now in the end, like that I guess was not enough for Will. Like Will still won, but I would, if I was in his position, I'd be like, I'm not fucking with the guy that I know I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 is definitely voting for him.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And then the craziest thing of all is for Dan to not vote for Jerry in the end. It's like after the whole.
Are we sure that's what happened?
I'm almost positive. I guess I can't say that with certainty, but I'm pretty positive he voted for Will. So it's like, what was all that for?
Yeah.
What was all that for? I think Kirk really, I'm saying this now, it might be said in the reunion show. In case it's not, I want to say it here. I think when Kirk gave his speech saying, listen, if anybody votes for anybody other than Will Compton, they're doing it for other reasons.
Right.
Like that's fine, but just admit it, you're doing it for other reasons. And I think that swayed him to be like, okay, I'll vote for Will. But it's like, no, then stick to your fucking guns and do the whole thing you did the whole time. But man, I couldn't go back out and watch that challenge. When I had to go back out and do the tribal thing, I was just like, I had not been.
This I think you took this more personally, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I think this affected you. More than I think going in, we were kind of both like, yeah, it's gonna be whatever.
Once it was within reach.
Yeah.
Like if I got voted off in the very beginning, in the middle, whatever. Once I was like, I think, and I didn't let myself feel that way until like the last day. I even was like, don't start thinking about a speech. But I was like, but I think I have to be prepared because I'm pretty sure my boys are gonna ride. Like. And I still, as we speak right now, maybe I will, again, to reiterate, we will have had done the finale show. I will probably get some clarity from Will. It seemed like I think Will played me more than I even thought. I thought he was kind of like, it like pained me to do so. And then in watching it, I was like, oh no, you had your thing with Jerry for like a while. So maybe I just got played totally. But I really thought, I was like, we got the fellas, we got the boys. And it is like, it worked. Like, and I just thought it would be very cool. It'd be very fitting to have like one of the original people win Barstool Survivor. Will's played great and he's awesome and all that, but like it would have been cool, like one of the original cities, one of the original guys. It was the veterans and the all-stars, and to have one of those like veterans win would have been cool. And I mean that was what my speech was about, was being like, this will be the most important thing to me. Like Will Compton, his thing will forever be on the football field. His greatest moments will forever have been.
Would that have been your greatest moment in this company?
I think so.
No.
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
My greatest, like, I mean, now listen, like what we've built, like, of course.
But there's no moment to it.
They're like, as far as a singular thing I've done here, a challenge, an achievement, it's like the biggest. I mean, the YouTube thing kind of fucked it up, but in my mind, I was thinking like millions of people are going to be watching this, and like we're going to be there, So I was thinking it's going to be the biggest piece of content we've done. I think it's the best both of us have like ever performed in one of these things. I thought, my speech was going to be very good and like was going to be a good moment. What do you think it would have been? What would you say?
What was your speech going to be?
It was just like, this will be the crowning achievement for my entire career. Like, as much as this means to everybody, to what, whoever it was going to be, like, this will mean so much more to me. I've been playing this game. I like started this game 15 years ago when I started my career here. Yeah. The way that like the way I've conducted myself, the bonds that I've built, like I didn't have any enemies here. I was able to align with everybody because I've like always worked with people, helped people, been friendly with people. Like that I've been, these guys started 5 days ago. I started 15 years ago. I kind of tried to not bring you up because I think you're the only better story than me. Because I think it would have been a little bit of a get back. You know what I mean? Like for not getting equity and Saturdays with the Boys and things that we know you got totally fucked on. It would be a drop in the bucket, but at least a very public, like, Feitelberg is the fucking guy who won the whole thing. Yeah. So I was trying to just not talk about it. I think I made a Fast and the Furious joke. I was like, Feitelberg did his Fast and the Furious marathon. That was his big moment. Like, this is mine.
Dude, no one would mention that, by the way, in the show when everyone's like, the fucking poor people. I was like, hey. Like they'd be like Tommy, like fucking Jerry. I was like, I was like, I wanted to be like, and I didn't know this until watching it now when everyone's talking about stuff, and like people are like Tommy, Jerry, Hank. I'm like, where the fuck am I in this fucking thing?
Well, that's dude. I mean, it's so fucked up.
I would not be shocked if out of the 14 people on that show, I'm the 13th lowest paid. I think Tommy's probably below me. I think anyone else below me would surprise me. Yeah. So we're talking about poor people bringing me in the fucking mix.
I know. I don't think people get, because it's such a travesty. They assume, like, there's even in this, I've seen mentions of people being like, Feits got fucked on equity and Saturdays for the Boys, like he deserves this, and people being like, wait, Feits didn't get equity. Like, people still don't get it because it's like, it's so ridiculous that they just assume it's the case, you know? But
I forgot about the equity. I was saying your speech should just be Saturdays are for the boys.
You can't like give a speech that you didn't, that's loser shit to like, I was thinking about like publishing it. I don't know. Like maybe if people really want to read it, I wrote it down. So like I could put it out there, but I also feel like it's kind of lame to like give not an acceptance speech, but a speech for a final that I was not in is kind of loser shit. But that was my vibe, was just like, don't take away this from me for like, Will played a great week. Like, this will mean something for me for like the rest of my life. Maybe that's silly to some people. Maybe it's not. Like, for me, it was kind of like Barstool, like what Barstool is. It was like, we're making content, we're competing. It's about, you know, being funny, but also being smart and playing politics, and like to be the one that did that. It's like, and I there was a lot of stuff of like, you know, I'm always it's Dan and Dave, and I got left behind, and I got cut out with the pen thing, and so I was like, I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride, that sort of vibe. And I think it would have, I think there was probably enough people, like a couple people that would have voted for me no matter what, and then I think it would have swayed a couple people, so I think it would have been interesting, but yeah, there's no denying. I wanted to try to play it cool. I was like, this fucking hurts, but I never thought about, like, never thought we were gonna get there. Like, feeling that, I thought I was just gonna get whatever. I don't care, you know. Even looking back on it, when we were so, I told everybody about the Che Alliance. I told Nate. I told Tommy. I
thought we told too many people.
Yeah, well, because when
Che was like,
don't tell anyone, he was dead right. But I was so blasé about it at that point. I was like, I don't know. I think if I tell Nate, he'll be down with us, and Kirk will be down with us. Yeah. Like, and then they all either forgot or like just didn't think we were serious. But once the game started getting going,
we told them before Che said, "Don't tell anyone." Remember we had that Zoom, like, "Don't tell anybody."
And I was like, "We told 3 people," but I guess they didn't. You know, there was definitely times where people were like, you know, "What about Che? He's like a Chicago guy," and I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." That was Che drove me nuts. In the one conversation we had, he was like, when you called me out.
When he said that to me,
you were the one who incessantly was like, yo, stop talking to me. Don't, you know, like every time I would say something, because there was a couple times where I said like, yo, are you riding with me and Che? And then after like Kirk left, he was like, yo, stop doing that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay. And I just threw a little like, fuck you, Che. And he was like, like, fuck, man, it was your idea.
Watching that and watching him say that, I was like, that, and there was something where like Che thought 100 divided by 7 was 17 or something like that. There was some math. Everyone was like, "What?"
Yes,
Che might be the dumbest person alive.
I know. That's
the only person dumber is Mintzy. But when he was like, when they were, I remembered that moment. I remembered that moment vividly when you were like, "I don't know about this guy," and I went, "Nice play, Kevin."
Yes,
like, right. I went like,
he goes, "You did it in front of everyone." I was like,
"Bro,
yeah."
That's one of those. That line in particular is one of those things too, where I heard Che say that, and I was like, everyone, and maybe it's part of the game, but I think it's part of Barstool as a whole too. Like everyone's so in their own head where it's like, you embarrass me in front of people. Like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? Like,
right. Like to me, that was just like, everyone's here. I'm gonna say something that makes them go, oh, those guys don't get along.
Right.
I almost thought it was a little heavy-handed. I was like, fuck, that wasn't like that slick. And meanwhile, Che's crying about it. Him and his fucking carpool, his carpool. I mean, I should have gone with my gut when I said he will never go against Chicago when it comes down to us, and he swore up and down, and then he just didn't because he carpools with Jerry, as if like right now Jerry wouldn't be carpooling with him. Months later, Jerry would be like, I don't go to work with you anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't know because honestly, like I think not that it ever crossed my mind stabbing you in the back, but I think had I stabbed you in the back, I don't think this show is the same anymore. Because I think you were very invested in the game. There was one point towards the end where you were like, "You're gonna stab me, aren't you?" And I said, "I was like, you're a little too into the game, Kevin."
Yes, I do remember that. But bro, me and you are light years different than Jerry and Steven.
Yeah. But I think that makes it easier for them to cut it off.
I guess.
Whereas
so.
like we probably would have had to keep going because of financial reasons. But I think you would have been genuinely like,
bro, if you
it would have changed our relationship
totally.
Yeah.
But I think that's 15 years of,
right.
You know, I think it like, I'm trying to think of like, I think Che and Jerry are like me and Tommy. And like, I was going to try to vote out Tommy, you know?
Right. Yeah,
like,
you're right.
If you voted me out, I don't know what I would have done because I would have to be an adult about it, but I would be like gutted, you know?
I was like, what are you talking about, dude? You're like, you didn't hug me hard. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just woke up.
Yeah, I do remember you being like, enough. Yeah, like dial it back. It was a lot of fun. It was great. It was awesome, and it had a chance to be like so, you know, the perfect ending. Even with had I lost in the final, all good. Getting to the final would have just been it. I would have been very, because it was equally, it was like 50-50, equally as important of like doing it for Barstool one time to make it about like other people and then potentially winning it. Those were like a coin flip for me as far as, because when the money doesn't matter, it's just about what makes you like personally feel the best.
Yeah.
And either of those things, if I, even in my own head, even if the edit didn't show it, whatever, if it was like I orchestrated that to like dead the jury, that means just as much to me. Because, you know, there's a lot of people who probably won't say it, and I don't expect them to, but I think there's a lot of people out there who would have thought that same thing and been like, this sucks, because a lot of these things that we do always end up going this way, you know? And this one didn't, for like on the biggest stage. So if I lost in the final, and I really, I never was going to do any of the like PFT Jerry stuff with you. But you know, when you see like the American Idol people standing next to each other and they like smile, like they're happier that the other person won. And I was always like, that's so fucking lame. If you won, I really genuinely think I would have been like a quick moment of upset and then like just as thrilled. I really would have been.
I would have been that way with the final three. If I am well aware that the right play was vote Will out, vote, but like I was like this could be fun. I'm down to let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. So I don't know, what can you do? Can
I just say I am so like, this goes into the Mintzy thing. I'm so glad it's over, just for the fact that like radio has not been fun just sitting on the abort.
KFC Radio is sponsored by BetterHelp. Whether or not your family gives gifts during the holidays, you get to define how you give a gift to yourself. And the holidays are a great time to do just that. So whether it's by starting therapy or going easier on yourself during the tough moments or treating yourself to a day of complete rest, that's something I don't do at all, man. The other day I was talking to somebody at Barstool about, we were doing some content, and they wrapped up early. And they were like, I'm back at home and in bed. And I was like, you went back home and just got in bed and just are chilling there. It was like the middle of the day. I was like, I either am working or running home to do the kid stuff, or like I get home and it's like time to just like do dinner and like watch a little TV and go to sleep. But like just a day of like, I ain't doing nothing. Nobody bother me. Nobody. It's my own fault because I have a broken brain and I need to fix it. So I need therapy more than anybody. But remember to give yourself some love this holiday season. If you want to start therapy, give BetterHelp a try. If you are already in therapy and you want to switch to BetterHelp, even better. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched to a licensed therapist. And if you don't like them, you can switch. You can keep switching them up until you find one that you like for no additional charge. You can do it over text, over the phone, video chat, no waiting room, no commute, no awkwardness, just help on the internet from licensed therapists. It's the season of giving, so give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/KFC to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KFC. Mintzy boy. It's a little bit disturbing, concerning, whatever word you want to use, that I believe multiple people have used the dog analogy. Yeah. But my initial reaction, if you don't know, the day of the Survivor finale, Ben Mintz, not once but twice. Do you know that? Twice.
I do, but I think one was a slip up. I think one was he just announced it.
The announcement was like the beginning of the episode. And then he slipped up to end the episode.
Really?
So within
so he announced it and no one said anything the whole show?
That's wild. I have no idea how that happened.
I thought he did at the end, and then someone shot him in the head.
That's what I thought too.
It was just like, all right, he's doing great.
Apparently, he said in the beginning, I think he said big day, we got the Survivor finale. I believe it's the final three. No, I know it's the final three. And then he said Jerry, Che, and Will. And then I guess at the very end, it was like a 25-minute show. So 23 minutes later or whatever, he does it again. And then he finishes the show, whatever. The producers on that one did say, yo, dude, that was not live. That was not out there yet. He, I think they said he still didn't really put it together. Picks his phone up and starts to realize what he did. And they said he ran away. He ran out of the building.
Shut up.
He tried to run away. And Dave called him back and said, where the fuck are you? Get the fuck back here.
I heard at one point he was come face your problems, Mintzy.
But you know what's so funny? Have you seen the clip of Dave?
No.
So Mintzy is sitting there.
So good.
So they made Mintzy sit in the corner with a dunce hat for whatever show they do together. And then this is, I guess, after that. Mintzy is now sitting with a dunce hat in his hand, which looks like a KKK robe, first of all. So it kind of ties in nicely to round one. He's got his hair in a wreck, which I can't tell anymore. Is this a bit for Wake Up Mintzy, or is this just you, you know? And he's just like, boss, I fucked up for the, millionth time. And you can tell that, I think this is after Dave had really laid into him and the producers and everybody. And he just starts to laugh again.
Yeah.
He's going, he was laughing and trying to cover his face because it's there's no such thing as bad dogs. It's only bad dog owners.
Yeah, right.
Because who in their right mind would ever put Mintzy on a live mic again? I mean that genuinely, sincerely. If it was the other way around, if he had slipped up this first and then said the N-word, we could have been like, hey, we probably should have known that he never should have been on a hot mic the time that he ruined Survivor. But it's this way. Yeah. Where it's the one thing that should truly get your professional live radio card taken away. That's the one thing you can't do that you probably can never dig your way out of it, because people will always just say, it's just safer to be pre-recorded.
Yeah.
You know? But somehow, some way, and then as I understand it, every room here in Chicago has the ability to dump live, except Mintzy has to record in some special place.
He records on the basketball court,
right? And they use green screen backgrounds rather than just having the regular backgrounds. And I asked them about that, and the producers were like, I was told it has to be in that spot and just make it work. So he's like, I made it work. Hey, Dave actually apologized to Stefan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
He was like, it was this, Stefan was like, I was told to make it work with limited resources, so I did what I could do. And Dave actually apologized to him, which is stunning.
There's a clip from Viva TV that I sent to my friends because Stefan's being just a sassy bitch in it, and he was saying he's like, I can't build a dump button in 3 days. We have so much we have to do.
Well,
and it's him being like, don't do this, and then someone else was like, no, it's got to go live this week.
I mean, but man, it's just.
I was upstairs talking to some salespeople earlier, and they were like, a lot of people here in Chicago in particular have never really seen Dave, right? A lot of particularly the business people and things like that.
Really?
Yeah, I would imagine, right? I imagine. I don't know. I would imagine most of the people who are here, like sales people, like business people.
Do they hired new people here?
I would think so.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I thought you were saying like people who moved from New York.
No, I think that was all production and talent. I don't know.
Oh, so like all the sales and business are new here. Yeah, that makes sense. So they got a fucking.
They were like, I've never seen Dave mad, but that was insane. They were like, we work back here, and we don't hear what happened. We don't hear them playing basketball. We don't hear them doing, whatever events they're out here doing. It's like, we heard Dave screaming.
I heard he was just like looping the place, just like finding new people to yell at.
Dude, Dave being mad and not at you is the
best. The best. When you just watch him ravage somebody, just fucking like a shark, just like ripping them to pieces. It is so goddamn good.
You get to see that mean with ease in the wild.
And especially when it's been targeted on you for, many reasons in the past. And then it's like not. It's like, oh, I know how you're feeling, but I get to just enjoy it. It's sick. We shouldn't. It's like victim blaming, or we should sympathize with them, but
not even a little bit. Not even a little bit, dude. You fucking idiot. While we're doing Surviving, I meant to do this on radio. Maybe we'll still do it on radio. I got a text during Surviving from a coworker who's been watching. I imagine, at least he didn't say. He didn't say this is where he saw it, but I'm just assuming that's where it was. I got a text a few nights ago. I'm trying to find it here. Sorry.
Do I know this yet?
I forget. I think so, but I don't know. Where is this thing?
By the way, while you look, and I just burped.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, good.
Wednesday, November 29th at 10:30. So probably after you watched Survivor last week.
Okay.
You ever realize you're constantly doing things with your hands? Is that some weird jerk off tick or something? Yeah. This is from Dante the Don. Again, he texted me at 10:30 p.m. Do you ever realize you're constantly doing things with your hands? Is that some weird jerk off tick or something?
So he means like you're talking with your hands. He's watching Survivor.
I think it's more just like this.
Yeah. You crack your knuckles. You move around. You grab some. I actually noticed. I think you roll up paper a lot.
I'm always doing.
Yeah, but you do. Yeah, because what the fuck is that some weird jerk off tick mean?
It's for those who don't know. I would guess for me, it's anxiety. It's nervousness and tension and uncomfortability and me just...
I mean, it's also the most classic thing in the world. Like Will Ferrell, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like there's a reason why like news anchors just sit like this or they hold a pen because the whole thing is people don't know what to do. So it's like very, very common. And certainly not a jerk tick.
And so he actually it's a nice look into the conspiracy theorist's mind.
The mind of a psychopath.
Because like it's how easily convinced he is that it's something nefarious and weird rather than just like the standard thing you assume why people play with their hands and fidget because they're nervous. So he said, you ever do things with you ever realize you're constantly doing things with your hands? Is that some weird jerk off tick or something? I read that text. I'm like, what the fuck? And I replied, yes. I said, if I nervously fidget, and by the way, I'm telling him what it is. I said, yes. If I nervously fidget the way most people do when they're anxious, I come so hard. And he went, now my interest is piqued, which is a little gay.
Yeah. Super gay.
Pause
of all pauses.
I said, no, like, how some people get anxious or nervous during conversations and that makes them get kind of antsy? If I do exactly that in very similar situations, I get really hard. He goes, how the fuck does this work? And how'd you come to realize it? I fell asleep at this point.
I was going to say also, it's like, I don't know, my dick got hard. That's how I came to realize it.
So I woke up at 8:20 the next morning.
Tell me you kept going in the morning.
I don't know. I probably first realized it when I was very young, like before puberty even. I couldn't more clearly be saying it's nervous anxiety and not jerking off. And he didn't reply to that one. But I was like, he's such a crazy person. You're so crazy to see someone who's like, I don't know. And he goes, that guy must be wanting to beat off right now. I bet that guy wants to jerk his dick.
Is that not one of those? Is that not one of those big time projecting things?
Yeah, I want to be
hammer to a nail sort of thing where it's like, I think you got some weird jerk off tics going on.
If it's something other viewers have noticed or people notice when they talk to me, in these moments, the last thing in the world I am is horny. I am so anxious and nervous and riddled with fucking paranoia. It is not horniness that is driving me to play with my stands.
When we're recording, you get nervous and stuff?
What's up?
You're still getting nervous when we record?
No, but that's why I'm guessing it's from Surviving. Because that's like, I'm in more nervous situations and like talking to people.
That makes more sense.
When we're doing the show like this, no,
whatever.
But like,
I feel like you guys have always done that. Just like you're occupying your hands so you can like talk.
Jackie was gonna get a toy to play with.
If I didn't
used to carve the desk.
Yeah, that I think is nerves and kind of tension and awkwardness. But like, yeah, I'm sure it's on display in Surviving. To be honest, I've watched all the episodes. I haven't noticed it that much.
It's a weird Dante thing.
But talking with it also coming from Dante, if I'm talking with it, yes, I am animated.
If I didn't look the way I look and have the name I have and hate Italians, people would probably think I'm a guinea. I'm fucking, wow, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I'm an animated person. Yeah. So like, yes, Dante should get, but that's why I assume it's not what I'm talking about, what he's talking about. Because it's got to be something else.
I mean, I don't know what a jerk off tick is. Do people, I mean, that means like you get a hard dick from some, I don't know, that's, Dante's got a jerk off tick.
I was going to ask if he was just calling you a jerk off, and then you went further.
No, he clarified. He actually, I've skipped a few texts.
The fact that you like, what a gift that fell into your lap. Wait, how do you describe it?
He went sorry, jerk off, the verb, not noun.
What is this? Some sort of jerk off tick? No, I mean jerk off tick.
Did you see tonight? He's skipping he had a business dinner, but he's going to skip it to watch.
Dante always has a business thing, a business lunch, a business dinner. Anytime I ask him to come on radio, he's got business. I don't doubt it. He owns a bunch of clubs and restaurants, and he does all his DJ shit. But it's like every time there's something. Jerk off tick.
The reason this all came out is he texted me, why do you continue to come to my city and not tell me? I was like, dude, I landed at midnight last night. I went to the hotel, went to bed. I woke up, came into the office. That was my day thus far. I will see you later, I imagine.
I don't know what's the cutoff? Like, if someone comes to New York, I'm not like, you're in my city.
Yeah, no.
But like, I feel like if you go to Boston, I feel like Chicago kind of is that. Like, you're like, you could come see me. It's like, you could be in New York and be like so far away from me.
If you're not between my apartment and the office,
you're not. Yeah. I was in Brooklyn. It's like, I live in Westchester. Like, we are further away than.
Dude, my dad's done that before. He's like, come to Brooklyn for meetings, and he's like, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm like, I'll see you. It's easier for me to see you at home.
Seriously,
like right now, like meet at home, it'll take less time.
There are times where I'm like, if you were in Philadelphia, I could get to you probably sooner and easier.
I had that once happen, kind of the reverse, where it wasn't easy. Excuse me. I did not. I know what you're gonna say. You were gonna say it earlier, and I cut you off. I did not bring omeprazole, and today's been. And I had Mexican for breakfast,
bro. So I had onions, raw onions, which I know fucks me up a little bit. I think I can eat cooked onions. I like the flavor of onions, but I usually, if they're in it, I'll like let it flavor my food, but not eat them. But I had a sandwich the other day that had just raw purple onions like on a sandwich, and I do like the taste of it. It wrecked me. Just like probably like a half moon, a half moon, a half moon. Like three, like they're just inside of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a whole slab of it on a burger or whatever. It was probably like a little ring, that many rings just on two halves of a sandwich. And I this happened to me once before, because I know I've sent this to you, when I was like, I don't think I knew what heartburn was until I got it. And I was, if you go back to that episode of Barstool Radio, the whole time I'm going, tune in tomorrow, like I'm doing the burp talk thing. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it feels like something's like kind of stuck right there. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is heartburn. And I can tell you right now, unless I get tricked somehow, I will never eat another onion again in my life. And I do genuinely like the flavor of it. And I was like, this will never happen again to me. It fucking kills ruined my whole day and night. Really? I just sleep sitting up.
Yeah.
I was sitting like fucking 90 degrees. Just like, the holidays are here. It's one of my favorite sponsors. This will
Omaha Steaks.
Omaha Steaks. You do it. You fucking do it. It's Father's Day.
You got a little twinkle in your eye.
Yep. I genuinely love Omaha Steaks as a product, and I love them as an advertiser because they have been around since like day one. And I remember getting Omaha Steaks before I was ever doing any podcast stuff. My mom used to order them, and it was like, oh, it's Omaha Steak season. Like we eating good. We getting filet mignons for the next few days. And then the fact that we are advertising them makes me very, very happy. 50% off site-wide right now. OmahaSteaks.com. Use promo code KFC at checkout. No, I misspoke. It's 50% off site-wide for everybody. When you use promo code KFC at checkout, you get an additional $30 off your order. We're talking juicy, tender, butcher cut filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, easy to prepare meals. They've got the chicken, they've got the pork, they've got the apple tartlets, they've got desserts, they've got potatoes au gratin, they've got sides. It is just good, high-quality eating put into a cooler and sent to you where you can keep it frozen and eat it all day long, all month long, all season long. But this offer won't last long. So go to omahasteaks.com, get 50% off, and use promo code KFC. Get $30 off that additional already discounted meat. That's omahasteaks.com. Minimum order might be required, but I'm telling you, you're going to want to load up. Get a bunch of filet mignons. Get a bunch of potatoes. Get some of the burgers, I think, are like filet burgers mixed up with the chuck. It is greatness. So whether you're giving it as a gift to someone else or yourself, omahasteaks.com, 50% off, plus promo code KFC for an additional $30 off your order. I tried to sleep on the plane here too. 2-hour flight to Chicago?
2.5.
Yeah.
Guy peed 3 times sitting on the window. If you know you're a 3-time per 2-hour pisser, you gotta switch with me, bro.
Yeah.
Especially the minute you see me, I was rolling up my shirt to make a fucking pillow. I'm putting the head things on the side. I'm reclining back. Put on a jacket backwards. I was like, I'm going to sleep, bro. And he would just whack me on the leg and wake me up, and then like scoot by. And I was like, okay, fine. And he even said like, let me pee before we get going. I'm like, cool. You got 2 more in here? But it was funny because I when we started radio, I meant to talk about it on radio, and I said, dude pissed 3 times on the plane. And Tommy turned around and went, how'd you know that? Because Tommy peed 3 times on the flight. And that is what it is. It's the bladder of like an old neither of these guys were like, the old Jewish men that do that. I couldn't believe it. But Tommy and this random guy peed 3 times on a 2-hour flight. Something's wrong with you. Something's fucking wrong with you.
Can I ask a question, speaking of flights, that I've been debating? I want to know how insane it is.
This should be good.
So we fly first class. I don't know how that happens. I don't know if they just buy me a first class ticket. But because we never really fly like planned trips, it's always very quick. Like we're going in 3 days kind of deal. Mm-hmm. It's usually only the first row, like row 1, that's open. So I very often when we fly, I sit first row.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But
I'm not.
You're not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't really like it. And is it insane to be like, just get me a regular seat?
I think most people, they like the legroom? You're saying it's insane to give that up?
No, because I can't. I don't have legroom.
Oh, you're saying you want a regular seat instead of first class?
Yeah, just get
front
me
row?
An economy seat.
Well, it depends. A lot of these flights that we're doing are short distances, and first class is like, I don't know, the seat's like a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Today, did you notice the net today? I took a picture of it. Oh, wait, you weren't on my plane.
No.
They put up a net in between coach and first class. Like, look at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, good thing we're separating the riffraff with this fucking...
Seinfeld has a joke about that, where like when they close it, it's like, maybe if you worked a little bit harder. I'm not going to do that.
Why?
I'm not going to do it just because I like getting off the plane so fast earlier.
But what don't you like about it? You don't have legroom? But
no.
When there's that... I feel like you do have legroom.
No, because basically it's the legroom with a seat you can at least get under.
Yeah.
You can get under. I can't get under.
Right. You're kind of like this.
So I'm just like stuck like this.
I have noticed that you've been in front of me the last
I'm
3 flights.
Row every fucking time. And like there is more legroom in row 2 than row 1.
Why don't you just ask them to get first class, but not front row.
I just assume because that I assume everyone has my problem where like they don't like not being able to stretch out. So the first row is always the
last one available. Oh, so you're gonna say, get me a first class ticket, but if the only thing left is the front row, get me a regular.
Yeah. Again, I'm not gonna do it because I like getting off the plane fast.
Yeah. I think that would be pretty crazy. I think you're maybe forgetting some of the. I mean, it depends on if there could be a middle seat. There could
a middle seat. I would obviously not take, but most
Comfort Plus, I think you won't have a middle seat.
So maybe there's a step down. That's not crazy.
I will say, whenever we do the short flights and you guys are like row 1, row 2, I think as a joke they put all the producers back row. Like, every time you guys are 1 and 2, we are the very bad.
I feel very awkward. I used to feel really awkward to the point that like I almost was like, I don't want to do this. I want to all fly together. And then eventually I was like, sorry guys. But when I see that like someone's in like row 31, I'm like, this feels like Rosa Parks, bro. This is like
it's the worst flying with our team. Everyone knows now, but when you're flying with new people, like we're walking down the jetway last night, and Tommy's like, "You sit first class?"
Yeah.
I was gonna wait, and I was like, "Yeah."
And then then we board first. They pass us. We're like, go back with the pours. See you later. And it's definitely a little bit awkward.
Pop Punk's a funny one too, because it's like you get it. Comfort Plus. Coach.
Yeah, there is some sort of. I don't know if Dave or somebody else like check boxes.
I don't know. It just happened one day. It was just I thought it was like an accident. I was like, my son for
we all get our own hotel rooms. That changed.
That was like the second turn and bought us. That's
a legal thing. I think like.
Oh, that might be too. Yeah, that's true. You can't bunk up anymore, especially if there's girls around and shit. But yeah, that was always nice when it was like, oh wow, get my own space now. But these are things that I think are pretty basic that most people who are big parts of companies get, that we're just like, oh thank you, sir. Thank you for putting me in the big chair at the plane, the flying machine. Thank you, sir. I stumbled across 2 internet things. I think I stumbled upon the greatest ick of all time. Maybe the original ick. 1955.
Okay.
One John Steinbeck wrote a letter to Marilyn Monroe. Are you ready for this? This is April 28th, 1955.
I bet I can beat this.
Miss Marilyn Monroe of the Waldorf Towers, room 2720, New York City, New York. Dear Marilyn, in my whole experience, I have never known anyone to ask for an autograph for himself. First of all, terrible sentence from John Steinbeck, right?
Who is John Steinbeck?
He wrote Grapes of Wrath, Of Mice and Men, I think, right? Like major author.
Yeah.
I have never, in my whole experience, I have never known anyone to ask for an autograph for himself. I feel like himself is one of those words you can't end the sentence on, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is always for a child or an ancient aunt, which gets very tiresome, as you know better than I. It is therefore with a certain nausea that I tell you that I have a nephew-in-law who lives in Austin, Texas, whose name is John Atkinson. He has his foot in the door of puberty, but that's only one of his problems. You are the other. I know that you are not made of celestial ether, but he doesn't. A suggestion that you have normal functions would shake him deeply, and I'm not going to be the one to tell him. On a recent trip to Texas, my wife made the fatal error of telling John that I had met you. He doesn't really believe it, but his respect for me has gone up, even lying about it. Now, I get asked for all kinds of silly favors, so I have no hesitation in asking one of you. Would you send him, in my care, a picture of yourself, perhaps in a pensive, girlish mood, inscribed to him by name and indicating that you are aware of his existence? He is already your slave. This would make him mine. If you will do this, I will send you a guest key to the ladies' entrance of Fort Knox, and furthermore, I will like you very much. Yours sincerely, John Steinbeck.
Look, when you started this, I said I bet I can beat it, and I didn't know how badly I was going to beat it. That's not great, but that's not good. What
do you got? penning a letter to an international superstar, being like,
but he's a star himself, and you can maybe as a writer, you can make the argument he's doing some tongue-in-cheek stuff, and I think the fact that he's an author has me being like that's one of those things where like writing it looks weird, but I could see all of that playing off kind of.
This is like a 1955 DM being like, yo, like, hey, saw that you followed me. My friend likes, whatever.
I don't know what Steinbeck's like in person, but I could see if he's charismatic, all that stuff working.
Okay. What do you got?
I don't know why I just thought of this. I'm so mad I did. Like, I could just not say it. It's well within my rights to not say it. I could do it. I could do it right now.
Is this your ick?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did it. I one time, this is years ago. We were having sex, me and this lady.
Marilyn Monroe?
And
me and this lady. What was it, your teacher or something?
It was a woman. And we're having sex.
How old is she?
No, not like old.
Oh, okay.
No.
Older than you though?
Not by any. Yes, I think, but like not by any. Maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
And we're having sex, and it's all fucking hot. You guys know you're listening, and
I got a jerk off tick right now.
And then we get in front of a mirror
while you're fucking.
We're fucking in front of a mirror. And we're like, fucking, yeah. And
she doggy style?
Yeah, like she's kind of like bent over, and like we're both looking in the mirror, and
oh god, this has potential to end so bad,
bro. I don't know.
What is he gonna say? What is he gonna do? I don't know.
I don't know if I don't know if I was like trying to not come, or if I just like was in the moment. I was like, this is hot. So I get down on my knees behind her, and I start eating her out.
Okay.
Right? And I'm on. I want to hook this. I want to be able to show. So I'm on my knees back here. Where's the camera? You guys all got to see this. Yeah. And I'm on my knees eating her out, and we're on hard wood, and starting to hurt.
Yeah.
So she seems to be enjoying herself. So I don't want to fucking change it up. So I want to stop, but I can't be on my knees anymore. It's gone too far. So
you pop a squat. Indian style.
Right?
Indian style. Crisscross applesauce eating pussy.
Bro, eating pussy, crisscross applesauce in her mirror so she can see everything. I got a belly hanging right here. I got a little
You're doing this.
Yes, dude. Sitting like this.
So she's like, love it. She's like, oh my God.
No. Oh, no. At this point, she's stopped loving
okay.
it.
So because she can see in the mirror, right?
She can see in the mirror. So it's just this pot-bellied person.
Sitting Indian style.
Indian style.
I don't care if Brad Pitt, you can't sit Indian style.
Right, dude. It's fucking dick popping up here, a little pot belly here. And she just goes, I feel like a baby's eating my pussy right now. And I never talk to her again.
I would sincerely hope not.
I can't believe I've had
just not told that.
I've had that story in the chamber for a minute.
How long,
bro? Like when the ick phase ended, kind of, I was like, oh,
dodge the bullet.
Like, you never said that, and obviously not that I wouldn't say it. Just like I remembered it recently. I think I was just in front of my mirror in my apartment, and I just had like a PTSD flashback to be like, what did that fucking look like? So it was fresh on my mind right now. And you said ick, I was like,
bro.
Maybe tell that story.
I was gonna say, let's put it to a vote: John Steinbeck versus John Feitelberg. I mean, there's obviously writing a weird worded letter is not even close to eating pussy like a baby, Indian style. But I'll tell you this much: I thought you were gonna say you were doing it like a catcher. I thought you were gonna be just sitting there like this.
I should have.
Like doing the Asian squat. Right? But I'll say this. You know, I feel like in most of my encounters, rarely am I doing things standing up, even when I was younger. But when I did, there was usually a pillow, a cushion, something. Yeah. But when you see a chick go raw dog knees on the floor, That is some like she got that dog in her. Like if you are sucking dick, or in your case eating pussy on your knees, even carpet can sometimes be worse because the carpet's rubbing too.
Yeah.
It's like just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like if that's me, I'd do it for 5 seconds and then be like, we're changing position. Like I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not doing that. Also, you got to be like all the way up on your. I feel like a lot of times
great
girls are like, straight up and down to suck somebody's dick. Like it's not, when I go to church and I go on my knees, I do the old man. I sit my butt down on the pew. For that, you got to be doing the full praying.
In that moment, I was upset that I wasn't raised by psychotic Christians who,
the nuns
that make you like pray on rice.
Yeah, and then the peas and stuff. Yeah,
because then I could eat pussy all day. I'd have fucking
like
calloused knees
out by a baby. Put that way at the top of the list of the Feitelberg stories. When I go, how did it take 15 years? How did it take 15 years to tell me the story of you eating pussy Indian style? I mean, I can just see that, like,
just like a little. I mean, like
you're just like spread.
I'm so doughy and like pale that like, I absolutely resemble a baby.
Yeah,
and just when you start sitting
also
like that,
for her to say that, like that's what you say to the girls in the group chat afterwards.
Yeah.
To just say it in the moment. Did you keep fucking her?
Oh yeah.
But we're like, okay, we got to wrap this up quick because like that just like
I like
me.
When I said I never talked to her again, that wasn't like that. Like we are not in communication anymore.
Yeah, that was there was no future after that.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I'm trying to think of my most embarrassing sex moment. I have embarrassing sex moments that but I usually like played them off, like either not being able to get hard or coming too fast, but you're like, oh, let me switch positions, or I'll go down on you now or whatever. I'm trying to think if there was like a in the moment, I don't think I have anything even remotely close to it. I'm getting eaten out by a baby. I think I farted once. Like as I came, so it was like
oh god, that's where the ATI question came from.
Maybe
shit yourself every time you come.
Maybe, yeah. I think about a lot of like, as a guy, there's no good position for that. Like if you're like face down, ass up, eating a girl, it's like if someone were to walk in on that, like a girl like on her knees. I don't really care for that, but I can see the appeal of it. If a girl's like on her, if you're on a bed and she's like ass up doing it, all that, like all of it's hot. For a guy, I can't think of any like good position other than like, I guess if like she's sitting on your face, it's like, that's just, but if you're down, if you're any of that sort of stuff, it's like anything where like, if your ass and asshole are exposed in any way, it's like, this is.
Yeah, but that's the closest I come to being gay.
Eating a girl's pussy with your butt in the air?
Yeah. It's a nice little breeze.
The weirdest thing for me about it.
I could see myself enjoying this.
Well, the weirdest thing for me about it is, as a straight guy, 99% of the time, the field's in front of you. You're the quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm doing checkdowns. I got all my progressions. I'm working through everything here. If you're a girl or a bottom, the game's behind you. You're looking forward. You might have a mirror. You might do a look back. But for the most part, things are just slapping off of you. And
you're just hoping no one catches up to you from behind. And they usually do. I usually I got a Ben Watson tackling you at the one.
Leon let that shit fumble at the one. It's just weird to have a whole. I remember a girl telling me she was somebody else that she was fucking. She went into a blackout. She was like so drunk, and she was like it was a guy that had never had reverse cowgirl. And she was like, well, I got to show you some things. And she told me she just like the last vision she had before she completely blacked out was just 2 feet. Like he was just laying there with his feet out, and she like turned around and went to do her thing. And she's like, I just remember his feet and like against the white wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's so weird for you. That's like your whole, like, I think for me, sex is like so visual. I want to look at all the things and touch all the stuff. But for you, it's just like you're just doing your work and looking at a white wall and 2 hobbit feet. You know?
I won't do reverse cowgirl unless I'm under blankets.
Because you don't want.
I think it's so weird. Just my feet out.
But how is she doing it under blankets? Because
No. I as long as like the blanket's up to my knees.
Knees, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, we got some insecurities here, huh?
I got weird feet, bro.
You do. But I don't think she's looking at him. You think she's zeroing in, being like, look at that toe. Look at that nail.
Probably not. Now she wants to come.
Girls aren't really coming from reverse cowgirl much, are they?
I would guess. I don't know.
I feel like good old-fashioned regular cowgirl.
They do that stir thing. Really, this doesn't do anything for me, but if it's working for you.
When they, like, yeah, they go like that. Yeah.
I guess that's more a regular cowgirl, a regular girl on top.
That shit is getting, that's when I feel like you're poking through to, like, their intestines. Yeah. And they go all the way. When they do feet instead of knees,
yeah, and
they go all the way down, I'm like, where did that thing go? Where does it go to? It's like I was like, oh, I understand how you can have a baby now. Who do we got on the show today? What did we decide?
Lee
Eisenberg.
I think Lee's a great interview,
dude.
One of my favorite interviews we've done in a long time.
I'm
also getting a Nuvet.
Yep. The Nuvet is coming. I'm
gonna get a comforter. I don't have a comforter.
You gotta get a comforter first to get the cover to put it in.
So I buy that separately.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure Nuvet probably has a bunch of stuff now, but this is a very weird. This came about. Erica knew Lee Eisenberg, who is the writer of some of the best television and movies you've ever seen. The Office and specific episodes of The Office that are like classics. And he also happens to be working with Shopify on this new product he's made that has revolutionized getting your comforter inside a duvet, which is one of those like common internet tropes of like, how does anybody know how to do this? And he invented this zip-up cover that just makes life so much easier.
We're probably talking too much about the Nuvet. The interview is very interesting. It's almost not at all about duvet covers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it was just it was so weird how it came about because Erica, we're working with Shopify. Shopify's working with him, so they kind of like all got connected. And Erica was like, "Can you do an interview with this guy who's selling duvet covers?" And I was like, that sounds fucking terrible. But hey, you're the boss. I got to do it. And then I learned a little bit about what it was, and then I learned about who he was, and I was like, let's do it. And I still was kind of like, this is definitely still out of the ordinary for KFC Radio. And it was fucking awesome.
I completely agree. It's
talk to somebody about like the behind the scenes of specific Mount Rushmore episodes of television. We've talked to movie people before. Like, we haven't really talked about like classic individual episodes of television that I believe are as important as the greatest Oscar movies and shit. So awesome.
I'm glad you think that, because I would like to make it a point maybe in the new year to do more.
More like behind the scenes writers.
I think we've only done 2. I think it's been Lee and Aaron Ryan.
Yep.
And I've loved both of those interviews.
Yeah. Just hearing like he has ideas. I loved hearing ideas that he in 2023 pops into his head.
Yeah.
That he's like, I wish I could do that with Michael Scott today.
Right.
Because it makes me want to be like, maybe TV shows, maybe with AI, you can just do like one-offs. Like, what if right now you could make Michael Scott do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, The Office is not back, but this one, the head writer has this unbelievable idea for Michael Scott doing XYZ. Like, let him just do it. He is brilliant. I mean, the shit he came up with, the episode Scott's Tots and Dinner Party. It's unbelievable.
The Lover is one. I don't think we talked about Lover. The Lover is one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's got like Murderer's Row of just
go all the way back.
He's written for a bunch of other shows too that are all like quality, but The Office is really his main.
Currently, Lessons in Chemistry. I mean, he was great. I had no idea what to expect going into it as well, and I really liked it. And I would like. I don't know how we do that. I guess we tell Kelly. I would definitely like to have more television writers on the show.
It is funny though, being like, and now tell me about this fucking linens that you're selling.
But Jackie's great. Yeah. Jackie's unbelievable. I had the same idea. You shoot it with a syringe.
Yeah. Oh my god. I forgot about that.
Jackie had a comforter inside a syringe.
A huge comforter in a syringe and shoot it into the cover. It's like, and that's why Lee was like, I made it with a zipper. Fucking never change. Jackie Nichols never change. So we'll get into that with him. But first we'll do some voicemails. Did you know that according to the FBI, break-ins and property thefts spike this time of year? Yeah, duh. Home Alone. Ever seen it? We all know that. Burglars love to take advantage of people traveling for the holidays. We got to worry about that we always post when we're on the road and stuff.
Yeah.
People know that we're not at home, so you should stagger your internet posting and make sure people don't know where you are and where you're not. But if you have SimpliSafe home security back home, you don't have to worry about anything. Right now, they're offering a holiday deal of up to 50% off any new system, so you can stay safe this holiday season. Whether you got a house, whether you've got loved ones, expensive belongings, collections, you want to make sure you protect against burglars, fires, floods, all of that. SimpliSafe has you covered for everything. They got the Video Doorbell Pro and the wireless outdoor security camera. That's not only a powerful way to deter package thieves, it's also a great way to go viral, because you will capture something funny on your outdoor camera, and you'll be able to upload it, and you'll go viral. They have 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, which is half the cost of traditional home security. And honestly, imagine if you get robbed, and it's like, I could have done this, and for less than $4 a day. That just feels like you're an asshole.
Yeah, you put yourself a lot of work.
Right. So go to SimpliSafe right now. They are backed by the money-back guarantee, where you can try SimpliSafe for 60 days, risk-free. And if you don't love it, you'll return the system for a free refund. And like I said, 50% off any new system right now during the holiday season. That's SimpliSafe with an I, SIMPLI, safe.com. Check it out.
All right, 2 questions for you guys. Number 1, I saw KFC playing the PlayStation 5 during a Surviving Barstool episode. So I just wanted to know, what games do you play? What are your top 3 most played games right now? And for Feitelberg, if you could be a video game character in any video game, what would you pick?
Ooh.
Could I just see that voicemail real quick?
All right, 2 questions.
All right, never mind.
What do you think, John?
I thought he was a black guy.
I knew that's what you were thinking, but why did you?
I'm telling Tommy's story now. But Tommy was out at a club. He told me this last night. We were at the airport. Tommy was out at a club in New York, and a very cool black guy walked by and was like, "What's up, Tommy Smokes?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, man, what's going on?" And as the black guy walked away, Tommy looked to some of his friends, some Barstool employees. He's like, "Everyone be cool. Everyone be cool. Everyone be cool." And, because you probably understand what Barstool, if you're a Barstool fan, most fans look like you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of...
we joked many times, but it's very serious. When a cool black guy or girl says like that they like you, it means more.
Yeah. And I guess Tommy said it a little too loud. So the guy heard it.
No.
And he came back and he just went, "You freaking out because I'm a cool black guy?" And Tommy was like, "Yes, honestly, yes."
Almost better.
Yeah. And Tommy was like, "Everyone's like a frat guy." And he was like, "Nah, I get it, man."
But you were passing each other and he still heard it? Or he was
walking. They were stationary. They were outside a club stationary.
Got it. That's fucking awesome. That is awesome.
He's just like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't happen a lot. And like, I don't know.
I think that's a true story, because we've said it enough here and there that I think people, like the diehard ones who are cool, know that. They're probably like, I'm gonna go make his night by saying this. I would love to do. I've been playing a lot of video games these days. I'm actually not playing many different video games. I'm playing many hours of video games, because he asked me my 3. I've been playing Spider-Man 2. I ripped through. I'm playing this game Teardown. Do you know that game, Nick?
Yeah, you were showing it to me.
Dude.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of clips of it. It looks awesome.
It's very fun. It's like shitty graphics. It looks like Minecraft, like that 8-bit shit. Yeah. You have a hammer and like a blowtorch, and you have to like break shit and steal shit and get away from the cops. But you have to do it within like 50 seconds, and you're like an insurance fraud. Like, you're the muscle that like these guys call. They're like, I need you to steal this safe, and you have to like figure out a way to cut it out of the fucking ceiling and get it into a boat and drive away before the cops get to you. And I bought it for Keegan, because I was like, Keegan wants to play GTA. He saw Grand Theft Auto on YouTube, and I was like, I can't do that. There's fucking and straight up like gang violence and shit. You can't do that yet. So I was like, he wanted a new game. I was like, I don't know. Here you go. This is some Minecraft shit. I don't know what it is. I'm the one who's like addicted to it. So I'm playing that, Spider-Man 2. I played the Harry Potter game on Xbox.
Is that good? I almost got that.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I actually have been sleeping through the whole series recently. I said this holiday season, I want to watch Harry Potter.
Oh, the movies.
And I put it on, and I fall asleep to every single one of them. but I enjoy them. But I don't. It still doesn't hit them. Like I still think maybe there's just an element that it's like maybe I mean I haven't gotten to like 5 to like 6, 7, 8 yet, or 5, 6, 7. Maybe they get a little more adult, but there's still some like corny. Yeah. There's still some corny kid shit that I'm always a little like, this is like a little goofy. I want to like them so bad, it just doesn't. But I know the storylines now a little more and stuff. But I'm falling asleep in every single one of them. Like fuck,
you're just a dad.
I know. I know.
I know. When I saw Merrily We Roll Along on Broadway like a month ago, and Daniel Radcliffe is the star of that, and I was in like the third row. And like I didn't realize what a Harry Potter geek I am, and I say that like I don't know it like a real Harry Potter nerd does, but I really like it, you know. And because at the end he was, you know, I don't know how many, but at the end of most plays, the cast comes out, does their final bow, but then the stars stay,
gets his own thing,
but no, they raise money. Maybe it's just the Christmas season, but like a lot of times they're raising money for something. So it's just like there'll be red buckets on your way out the door. Put money in it. They'll sell playbills and posters signed by the stars for raising money for some kind of charity. It's usually for the like actress fund or whatever. But this time they happen to have a live auction where they were auctioning off. I honestly forget. I forget what they were auctioning off, but they were auctioning off something. And Daniel Radcliffe was the running the auction, and he was running around stage kind of maniacal, but he had a big pen, and he's like, "And you give it this," and I was like.
It's Harry.
He's doing the wand thing.
My thing with Harry Potter is they know some spells that I feel like they would just use more often.
Yeah, probably.
That sometimes I'm like, do the thing. You got the fucking wand. So yeah, I don't think I can do video games and be like a streamer though, but I will try to do a little more where I'm like talking. Spider-Man was fucking awesome. Zelda, I die for, although I didn't really like the new one. I think Breath of the Wild is way better than the what was it called? Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That got too complicated. I think they went too hardcore for the Zelda freaks. Like some of the shit you can do is like amazing, but if you're a normal person, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? And I'll probably fuck around with GTA 6 when that comes out.
You should do Red Dead. That is.
I started Red Dead on Switch. But
the graphics
did you get past?
It sucks.
Did you get past the ducking behind the fence thing?
It's funny because
when I played that is first 10 minutes.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's not easy though.
But I also said that to me.
I also was like, because I was playing on Switch, the controls are all off and stuff. Yeah. So I was wondering, I was like, maybe this is this difficult because of this, or is it just hard? It's not an easy game. It is. I think it's a little more difficult. I'm going to start that now that I play PlayStation 5. I also tried to do The Witcher. That game's fucking hard.
That game is very hard. I gave up on that pretty quick.
Oh, you know what? I played too? Star Wars. The Star Wars Survivor, Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Jedi
Fallen
Order. That game, the first one, it has 4 levels of difficulty. I didn't even consider levels 3 and 4. I've never had to play a video game and turn the difficulty down, ever. I would just play the video game. I couldn't get 10 feet without just getting fucking diced up in Star Wars. So then I went to the easiest level. The difference between like normal and easy is like light years apart. And I was like, well, this is too easy and this is too hard. And I was getting my ass kicked, and I was like, I fucking suck at video games. I'm old and I suck. And I started to Google it and watch YouTube videos, and all the comments. So this is like a game from like 5 years ago, but all the comments say like 5 years ago, and they were like, "This game makes me feel like I've never played video games before.
Yeah.
Like, why is this so hard, but the easy level is too easy?" And then the second one, they like figured it out. But so Star Wars, Spider-Man, Zelda, Teardown, and a little bit of Red Dead, and maybe GTA is my rotation.
If I could be anybody, I'd be
and Harry Potter.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady in Madden. That's a good loophole. But I could be anybody in a video game. Video game characters, mostly it sucks dick.
Yeah,
it's like usually you're on an incredibly difficult
life.
Yeah, you're in an incredibly difficult
Someone
quest.
is in complete control of me. You have to do violent things.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a running joke all the time. It's like if I was Mario, I'd be like, stop getting kidnapped by Bowser. Same thing with Link. It's like, hey, Zelda, maybe you should fucking not, But so I'm trying to think if there's a game that
Pac-Man gets to eat a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're a human Pac-Man. Yeah, what's like a open world, like I'm just kind of chilling, doing my thing.
Almost
Kirby?
Like, I would say Animal Crossing, but Animal Crossing, you just have to pay rent.
No, in Animal Crossing, you're just an indentured servant for the rest of your life.
Yeah, Tom,
you're just a slave.
Your shit.
Animal Crossing, you're like literally a slave where you're paying off debt like your whole life. It's kind of like life. Prepares you for life, except there's a lot more like fishing and animals in it.
It's like life, but worse.
All right, last voicemail. Have you heard that West Coast legend himself, Snoop Dogg, announced that he is done with smoke? It's over. He's eliminating it. How could the dog father, once famously urged us to smoke weed every day, how could he be giving it up? Well, we've now learned, as it turns out, that he's going smokeless, joining forces with the makers of the world's most popular smokeless fire pits, solo style.
I almost believed
you thought it was.
I did believe that when it happened. I did.
He's old enough that he was like, I thought maybe like he's over the weed thing.
They definitely got me.
I thought he was launching edibles. Well,
yeah. But there was enough reason to think like whether it's that or that like Snoop at this point could be done with smoking weed. And so, like, hats off to Solo Stove. It's a little funny that we're still doing it.
Yeah.
But it was a great campaign with I mean, Snoop, you could make the argument, is one of the most recognizable people out. You know, once we do the Taylor Swifts and the Tiger Woods and all that shit. But the next tier down, like, a lot of people know Snoop.
Yeah.
A lot of people from a lot of different walks of life know Snoop.
He also had a viral video the other day where he hit 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Oh
yeah.
How much?
How much money did you make? Oh, it's probably like $1,600.
It's 45,000.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's crazy.
1 billion streams.
1 billion streams got $45,000. That it cannot last much longer. It cannot. I like every time we've had that discussion, I've said something to the effect of like, I'm sure the big dogs do get a different cut. If Snoop's pretty big.
Yeah.
Snoop's pretty fucking big. If he's getting 45, you know, like Drake and Taylor might get a different cut, but if Snoop is making peanuts, Snoop's going to be the one. Snoop has been the most vocal.
Yeah.
Snoop will lead this charge, and I think eventually we'll get some sort of reform before he's dead. It's fucking insane. The most powerful like musicians in the world just get no money from their music. I mean, I can't decide. People are always like, oh, could you imagine Michael Jackson like in today's world? I'm like, he wouldn't like that.
Right.
Everyone had to go buy a $25 album. Like there were times where like eventually I feel like CDs like got to like $17.99-ish. But there were times where for whatever reason, sometimes it was like $24, $25. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But I'm sure when it was records, forget it.
Yeah.
It's great to be back then. But anyway, Snoop's always got something going. And now the fact that he's teamed up with Solo Stove, I've got one in my backyard. I can see it from my bedroom. I always look out. It's all zipped up in the weatherproof cover, but I can whip it out anytime. We're gonna do a little marshmallows roasting. We'll do when the first snow is out. We'll do a fire pit. We can play. I'll play with the kids. You get cold, we'll have the Solo Stove going, and it makes all the smoke go up into the air, so you don't get smoke in your clothes or in your eyes or in your hair. And Snoop designed one himself. If you buy that one, you get the bucket hat and a limited run of stickers. So run, don't walk to solostove.com, pick up the limited edition pit, and join Snoop in going smokeless for good.
Hey guys, 2 quick questions from Canada. 1. After Barstool Radio coming back, do you think you'd ever do a KFC Radio Live? Get the producers and everyone involved and yuck it up with some of the fans? 2, we've got a buddy, longtime friend in our social circle who has always been very open about the kind of porn he watches and who he's into, and it's always been, different Asian actresses and all that. I started dating someone recently who resembles a porn actress quite closely, not Asian, and now all he talks about is whenever this new actress drops a video or new scene comes out, and
dude, if you know when that
just
drops
blatantly
off.
telling me to my face that he's beating off to my girlfriend.
Dude, this is a good
What the hell do
voicemail.
you do in that situation?
Do you remember the most awkward thing of all time?
No, but also, how did he not give us who it is?
Wait.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
I feel like it's just going to get worse and worse, but I don't know. It's like 3-month relationship, so who knows? Anyways, thanks. Viva.
Come on!
Give us who it is. But what were you saying?
Do you remember the most awkward porn lookalike thing to ever happen? Was that Barstool? It was a person. They brought their family member.
Oh yes.
The worst thing
to
ever happened.
Oh yeah.
A producer who loved Lana Rhodes has a sister who looked. I walked in the office. Like, Lana Rhodes here?
Dude, he would make it like very well known how much he loves Lana Rhodes, and then he was like, "Hey guys, this is my sister," and I was like,
"That's Lana Rhodes."
I was like, "Your sister is so fucking hot. It's like she's Lana Rhodes." Like he would.
I actually thought like we're having fun to an extent, but like I actually thought it was Lana Rhodes.
Yeah, like she's
like,
that hot. That
it
pretty,
wasn't.
that
No, it wasn't
striking.
like I met her. Like I saw her alone in the office, and I was like,
"Oh, Lana Rhodes is here today."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, that's my sister." I remember we were all like, we don't know what to do because it's such a thing, and like this is such like you should really, really, really looks like her. That sucks. And that was like when Lana was like first person on the scene.
Yeah,
rubber duckies and the pool and the tub. It was like, bro. I mean, it's weird because it's like this means your girl is fucking hot, or this girl, I don't know, your girlfriend or whoever you're fucking or whatever.
Yeah,
like that's cool. But like knowing that your friend, I mean, listen, if you bring around a hot girlfriend, you know that your guy friends would probably fuck her, you know?
right. But I think that's a very different thing than like all of my friends have beautiful girlfriends.
It's like, yeah,
I've
we
never,
would
like,
all have sex with each
jerked
other's
off
girl.
Thinking about that,
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
I'm not 12.
Right.
But like
that's a very big difference.
That is a real breach of a line
of friendship.
Yeah, I think all my friends' girlfriends are gorgeous.
It's like if you guys weren't dating and I met her, she's for sure hot enough that I would have sex with her.
Yeah.
You know, like we all probably know that. If I ever found out and you told me so, even if it was like, let's say if I started dating a girl that I really knew looked like a porn star, like it was striking. So
yeah,
I think I'd be like, this is pretty crazy, right? But like then if you were to be like, I jerk off to her still, you know what I mean? It's like it's like, okay, this is this crazy thing, but let's not talk about it.
You could just not.
It's just unspoken.
You could not tell me that.
Yeah, it's like I know every now and then you're jerking off to Asa Akira, and it's weird that like we work with her now or some shit like that. Like, you know, it's kind of, we've had those things happen before, but it's like we didn't belabor the point. You know what I mean? Right. So just don't bring it up. For you to be like, in any way, shape, or form, I'm jerking off to your girlfriend or a lookalike of your girlfriend or something, you know?
Yeah.
Any of that. Any like, hey, this girl has a tattoo that's the same as hers. This body part looks like hers. Or this she, you know, all of it. It's just like, don't need to do it. So you do not need to, in any way, shape, or form, tell me that you're masturbating to my girlfriend. It's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's out of control. Sometimes these questions, I'm like, you people are out of control.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much that strikes me anymore, but I'm like, you guys have fucking issues. You need to go to therapy.
I emailed that guy and he got back to me. This is just like an OnlyFans girl. It's Melanie Marie, and like, I mean, it just looks like a regular girl.
Melanie Marie. We'll be the judges of that.
I have the Twitter here. He included the link to the Twitter. Like, that's a fucking gangster move.
Melanie Marie. Yes, she does appear to be. I mean, the fact that like it's also a custom jewelry place in New York City. Like you know, you don't get like.
I couldn't find an Instagram, but here's Twitter.
Is it Melanie Marie J? Is that?
I don't know.
That's even weirder, I think, to be like, yo,
just a regular girl.
Because then it's also like, hey, dude, I have this weird internet, like, random who looks like your girlfriend. Yeah. It's like if it was like a, you know, Jenna Jameson. It's like, oh wow. It's like, okay, so there's a girl who looks like my girlfriend out there that you jerk off to, and now you're jerking off to my girlfriend. Great story, dude. We could have avoided this, like, because if it was like, yo, that looks exactly like Lana Rhodes, like it's like. We all know that.
Yeah.
We all don't know Melanie Marie. But hey, shout out to Melanie Marie. We haven't done this in a while. If you want, well, no, right. I was gonna say we'll plug OnlyFans, but I feel like that just floods you guys with all sorts of fucking weird shit. But yeah, Melanie Marie. God bless you, girl. But
we should do that on radio and have Meek go through them all.
All right, that's it. We'll see you back in New York on Tuesday. Quick programming note. So we are trying new things out with the YouTube. We've just got to really figure out the algorithm for the first time ever. So we are doing a lot of testing over the next couple months. I know that we're used to putting out the episode of me and John, as well as the interview that we do, where we usually publish them basically at the same time on the same days. And I'm sure there's a diehard contingent of KFC Radio YouTube viewers that, unfortunately, if you're used to that, we're going to mess up your schedule a little bit. But plain and simple, it's just not what's best for the show on YouTube to grow.
The podcast will be out. The audio,
the audio will always be out and have everything you want. So if you want to hear us and you want to hear the interview, you can go listen always through. But we're gonna have to test out one video on this day, one video on that day, 2 videos on the same day, but one's in the morning, one's at night. No videos on this day, but 2 videos. You know, we basically have been doing an audio podcast on YouTube, and it's time to do a YouTube channel. And we're at the point where we've been at the point where we've had great guests and a big enough following that we should have like 1 million subscribers and get tons of views and make a lot of money on YouTube. And we're just not there. And we just haven't had a YouTube programmer. We haven't really like maximized it. So we got to get, when we have major comedians in, major stars in, and, we're getting not a lot of views and not a lot of subscribers. It just we can't have that going forward. So
it's I know it's probably frustrating to a certain amount of people, and I hope you guys are big enough fans that you're like, well, it's going to be good for the show.
Yeah, because if we figure that out and YouTube becomes what it should be, when people talk about how it's like when people are on the East Coast, when the comics are on the East Coast, the West Coast they go to Rogan, when they're on the East Coast they go to KFC Radio. That should mean that we are one of like the top YouTube accounts in that realm, and we just haven't been. And if we become that, it's just good for business. We continue to get more of those guests, the views go up, we do more videos. I think we would be way more prone to do a lot more video content if we were like, this is going to get hundreds of thousands of views. Yeah. This will get 1 million views if we go do XYZ. We're going to go on. We're going to do a little
it's a chicken
field
and the egg
trip
thing too. We also need to just do more.
Totally. But we got to. You can do 1 million videos if you don't post them the right way, the right time, all that shit. This YouTube's just such a weird beast. So for the people who are probably used to it, it might be a small but loud group. Like, sorry if we're fucking up your schedule, but yeah, we hope that you're big enough fans to realize what we're trying to do is what's best in the long run for video. And if you really do need to consume it all one shot, there's always the audio. But as of right now, we're going to be testing different times and different things. So just be on the lookout. We'll keep you posted on when certain things are dropping.
And so like for us, it was always kind of like, a lot of it didn't make it in, but we would like do these like really long. The talking heads are when they talk to camera, and like in kind of like the confessionals.
Yeah,
we were obsessed with like Michael in high school. That we had a whole thing that Michael went to his prom, but then you quickly realized that he didn't go. He didn't have a date. He was a driver for a limo company for his own prom, and that he was like playing like
with everybody.
Yeah, he was like playing dice with like the other drivers, and then like they convinced him to go in to like confess his love to the girl, and then like just like that was the sort of stuff that we didn't make it in. It was really long. Like we wrote like. It was just like Steve just like going on and on and on. I don't remember if we shot it.
Is that kind of stuff like out there though? Like
I honestly can't remember if we shot that, but that was like something that like
no, but even like I mean I feel like if you have that written down somewhere, if that was like
we'd have to find it.
Like the fan fiction or not, I guess it's not. Yeah. Like the Reddit of the world. Like
right.
If you could post a screenplay or whatever you call it, the script of it. Of that, people would go bananas.
There's stuff.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, for like basically what would happen in the show is we would go. There'd be like a scene that wasn't quite working or like one of those talking heads or whatever. And Greg Daniels, who created the American Office, would be like, all right, everyone go off and like come back in an hour, half hour, whatever it is. So you have like the best comedy writers around with the best characters to write for. And everyone would just generate like, I would generate 10 of those. And Gene would generate 10. And, Justin Spitzer would generate 10. And then we'd go around and like read them aloud. And you'd be like, please pick mine. Like it felt so like anxiety inducing.
That is,
and then on set, because the show is so easy to shoot, like because the cameras are just like, the cameras are moving around like a regular doc, but those talking heads in particular, like it just locked off. So it's just as matter as like if Steve can remember it or Rain or whoever. And so then like you'd be like, let's try another one, and you just give them a whole other thing. Or because those guys, some of them are like the best improvisers of all time, like Carell, it would be like, hey Steve, like we're trying to do something about like your like what was like your 8th birthday like? Michael, what was your 8th birthday like? And he'd be like, and he would just kind of go off, and he would just, and then he would come up with something on the fly like that was funnier than like the 4 hours that the dum-dums up in the writer's room had spent doing it. Yeah.
Dude, that's interesting you said about like how some people wrote, because I always just envision it being a team. I don't really think of it as individual people writing scripts so much. And like there's one scene that always jumps out to me in Survivor Man when Michael comes back and Jim had tried to run the office. Yeah. And he's like, did you try to do the get rid of birthdays thing? And he's like, and then he does the that's what she said. He's like, I always do that. I don't know. I never know what she says. And I was like, that's like a real moment. Like And now it's kind of making sense where you're like, an optimistic person wrote that. Because I was always like, no, Michael's actually a great boss. He knows what he's doing all the time. He's actually
he's doing it on purpose. He's playing levels ahead.
You underestimate him, and then he'll surprise you. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I was just thinking about an old again something that we never did. I always wanted to do. That Michael goes golfing. We did a golf episode at some point that I think I wrote. But Michael goes golfing, with a client, lands the client on hole 2, and Jim is like, "Fuck,
we're gonna lose it by
18. We have 16 more holes for him to usually you do it. It's really hard, and like finally like by the 18th hole you win the thing. This is the opposite like structure of a story where you get the victory, and then it's like, how do you get Michael to shut the fuck up? Because
that's great.
Like, we always said that, 30 minutes with him, like with Michael Scott, not with Carell, I would spend, an hour asleep. No. But, 30 minutes with him, an hour, you wouldn't fully get the sense of him. And he's like, he's nice, he's friendly, he's kind of got some, cheesy jokes, a little quirky, and it's like, all right. So when it's like, no, 4 hours on a golf course, that's where you really, see the substance of a man.
He never did golf, right? There was obviously Jim.
No, he didn't do it, no.
Andy.
It's just, again, we had, note cards, it looks like a serial killer's room. It's just note cards everywhere. Would just it would literally say Michael wins a client on the second hole. That would just be that note card, and then you'd be like, should we try that one?
Was that just your life for however many years?
5 years,
just constantly scenarios. And
oh my god, yeah,
combos,
5 years,
dialogue, all that shit.
Was that something that did train your brain to not think that way? I know Mindy will still. I don't know if she still does, but there was a time where Mindy would tweet some things I wish I could write for Michael.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just be a list of a few things. Is that something that comes up still in, the modern day where you're like, damn, I could write a good Michael bit about that?
Every so often, yeah. I wanted Michael to think that there were 5 seasons, that there was summer, winter, spring, autumn, and fall. And, I think I came up with that, 3 years ago. And it's well, I have no... you guys are the only ones who are ever going to hear it. I hope that people think that's funny. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the Twitter account, back when Twitter wasn't the absolute cesspool that it is now, the modern Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter,
amazing.
that... that was so good, and I feel that you could do that for this
exactly.
as well. Yeah, just unwritten Michael Scott storylines.
But they just pop into your head. It's I don't know what other character I'm gonna
do that forever.
I think it's funny, right? This whole thing, there's 5 seasons, totally. So stupid. But I don't know where it goes.